What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you kind of a breakdown of the 8 secrets from Code of the Duelist. Now as you can see before you, you've got a good range of link monsters, 3 that are generic and 1 that is archetype specific. Then you've got a good 2 traps and 2 monsters. So what we're going to do is we'll start off with the link monsters, and we'll start off with the cover card, which is Firewall Dragon. So Firewall Dragon is a link 4 monster, and the link markers are top, right, bottom and left. It is a side-verse monster. It requires 2 or more monsters, and you must make up its link of 4. Once while face up on the field, quick effect, you can target monsters on the field and or graveyard up to the number of monsters co-linked. So co-linked is when the red markers are joint, as you can see there. Up to the monsters linked to this co-linked to this card, return them to the hand, and if a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or card effect, or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. Now, this is the main protagonist monster in the anime, so do not go out there spending huge amounts of money on Firewall Dragon, because basically what you're paying for is the privilege of having the card for maybe a month or 2. Now, the fact that it's out of regional season, there's no real need to go and splash huge amounts of cash on this card. It will be getting reprints. You look at Dark Magician, you look at Utopia, you look at Odd Eyes Dragon. They've all kind of had their reprints, as well as Stardust as well. And Elemental Hero Neos, not to forget him. So do not go out and rush and spend huge amounts of money on this card. Yes, it's really cool to have if you pull it. Its artwork is amazing, and the effect is also really, really cool. But do not overspend for this card. Next up is Gaia Saber, the Lightning Shadow. Now, the reason I wouldn't go out spending huge amounts of money. I think I've seen these on eBay for about 10 to £15, depending if you're lucky or not. Now, the one good thing about this is it's a 1-card go-through, because it just needs 2+ more monsters to get a link free, and it's a 2600 beta, but it has no effect. It's just a vanilla. It's a left, right, and bottom link monster. So, you know, it's just to help kind of ease players into the link cards. Then we get Topologic Bomber Dragon. Now this card is actually really, really cool. Again, it's a side-verse monster. Link markers are top, bottom left, bottom right, and bottom. 3k beta, link 4 monster. It requires 2+ more effect monsters. If another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, destroy all monsters at the main monster zone. Also, other monsters cannot attack for the rest of this turn after damage calculation. If this card attacked an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original attack. Now, I'm still sitting on the fence with this guy. I think he's really, really cool. I kind of like the whole dark hole play when anything is special summoned to these link markers, that link marker, or if your opponent brings out a link monster himself and foolishly special summons to one of its links. I think it's really, really cool. Again, it's sitting at around £13 on eBay at the moment, is what I saw when I checked today. So don't, again, at about that price, that's kind of a nice price to pay. Unlike, obviously, Firewall Dragon, it's not going to get huge amounts of reprints that we know of as yet, but you can kind of bet your bets, place your bets on Firewall being constantly reprinted. But Topological Bomber Dragon is still really, really good, and I quite like the idea about it. It's a little bit harder to get out because it requires those 4 effect monsters, but again, it can still be made quite easily with go through, then using the tokens to go into link spiders, and then dropping another effect monster on board to go into him. So he's not hard to make, and he's still very, very effective. Next up, we have Ningarusu, the World Chalice Warrior. Now this is archetype specific for the World Chalice monsters. Not pure. It can be made with 2+ more link monsters. It is a link free, but its main effect is if this card is link summoned, draw cards equal to the number of World Chalice monsters this card points to. You can only use the effect once per turn. Once per turn, you can send 1 card from each player's field to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. So, the send effect is really, really nice and really, really cool if you want to use your 2 link monsters. Other than that, it is mainly for the World Chalice monsters. Now, World Chalice is very, very cool, and I am looking into building one for you guys. At this moment in time, this card is sitting at around £15. Now, it might drop depending on the success of World Chalices at this moment in time. Again, it's still a very, very cool card, and the fact that it's a 1 of 4 link monsters It's more so if you want to build world chalices. These ones are more generic for any kind of deck you want to build. Okay, so that's it for the link monsters. Let's move on to the monsters. So we start off with Rescue Ferret. Now this is a very, very interesting card. Like the other rescue cards, it probably will get hit to 1. It's sitting at around £20 at the moment for what I've seen on eBay. And its effect reads as thus. You can shuffle this card you control into your deck, special summon monsters from your deck, except Rescue Ferret, whose total levels equal 6. To your zones a link monster or monsters points to, but those special summon monsters have their effects negated, also destroy them during the end phase. You can only use this effect of Rescue Ferret once per turn. So the idea that I kind of see is it can help in World Chalices because they run 3s and 2s and 4s, so they can kind of bring their board out and then go into a link monster, which means they don't need to worry about their effects negation or the destruction effect in the end phase. It can also help you with some synchro plays. Like, I mean, in Dinos, as long as you've got a link monster out there that has 2 link pointers to it, you can bring out like a Glow Up Bulb, a Dirac Alio and a level 5, or just kind of, a level 4, and you can kind of make your plays that way. So Rescue Ferret can still be very, very helpful. Whether the price stays at £20 or not, or whether it goes less, is kind of interesting to see. I have just remembered, I did forget to tell you that I think Firewall is sitting at around £30, give or take. Okay, so moving on to our next one, we have Lumina, Twilight Swan Shaman. Now, obviously, this is the secret introduction of the Twilight Swans. The rest of the cards for the set kind of come as Ultra, Rare, Super, and Common. So, Lumina. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Light Swarm monster from your hand or graveyard, then target one of your banished Light Swarm monsters, except Lumina, Twilight Shaman, special summon it. Once per turn, if the other Light Swarm monster's effect is activated, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So it's kind of an extended Lumina, like we said before, and it kind of helps push the archetype. Again, I think this card was sitting at around £20 when I checked today, but it might go less, depending on how the archetype itself does. Now we'll go with Vendread Reorigin. Now the artwork on this is actually really, really cool, and as you can see, the way the blue at the background kind of just pops, it's quite cool. So this is for the TCG exclusive Vendreads, and its effect reads as thus. Target 1 face-up monster on your opponent controls that has a level, tribute it, and if you do, special summon 1 Vendread token, Zombie, Dark, Attack 0, Defense 0, with a level equal to the tributed monster's original level. While the token special summoned by this effect is on the field, you cannot normal or special summon monsters except Vendread monsters. So it kind of locks you down, but the idea is you use this when your opponent's got a monster on board you want to tribute off, and then obviously you can use that to special summon out your 1 Vendread ritual monster that we currently have. This is sitting at about £15, but I expect this to go down because at this moment in time I don't think Vendreads have enough on their own to kind of be fully competitive, and I don't think the Reorigin is like the heart and soul of the deck. Yes, it's a very, very good card, but I don't think the whole deck needs to revolve around it at this moment in time. In the future, this might change depending on what support we get. So yeah. And then we wrap it up with Trickster Reincarnation. Now, just like Firewall Dragon, this is probably the most hunted card in the set at this moment in time. Unlike Firewall Dragon, we can't expect it to get huge amounts of reprints. It's sitting at around £28 to £30 at this moment in time. It's a very, very beautiful card. The artwork is amazing, and the effect is just as devastating. So you banish your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw cards, the same number of cards. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Trickster monster in your graveyard, special summon it. The fact it's not once per turn, the fact that it can activate its trap card effect to revive from the graveyard during the turn it's sent to the graveyard is also awesome and very, very important to the deck. The only downside is the fact that it is more so for the core. You can still play this in any deck you want just to banish your opponent's entire hand, but the fact that it's only for a Trickster archetype kind of limits its reach and extension, where if you look in the previous sets, Pot of Desires, the field spell for Dracos, Diagram, brain went numb there, they could have fit in more decks as well, so they kind of had a bit more variety, which is probably why they went up to the £60 and are more kind of hunted and wanted. Not saying that Trickster Reincarnation isn't hunted for or desired, It's just, I feel that it could fluctuate depending on how well Tricksters do and how well they're used. If they do really well, it will go up. If they don't, it will go down. Other than that, again, I wouldn't say go all mad and go out completely massive to try and get this card. I would advise, if you do have them, especially like Firewall, get rid of them now for the prices while you can, because they will start to slowly decrease when reprints are announced. So, that is the 8 secrets. Now let's get on to the question that everyone probably wants to ask. Is Code of the Duelist worth investing in? Is it worth dropping the 50, 60, 70, whatever amount of money you spend on a box? Now, in my personal opinion, one box, yes. You still get some really cool cards, you get some cool supers, and I mean, as a Link player, you kind of want your Firewall Dragon. It's not worth buying it as an individual at this moment in time with the price it's at. A Guy Saber is also really, really cool to get hold of. So is a Bomber Dragon. And then if you want to be building either of these guys, then you kind of want to be searching for these too. Depending on the price of the box, you've still got to remember the Ultras are really, really cool as well. The Spellbook is very, very nice. And then your World Chalices. You also got to remember some of the commons, the rares and the supers. Now we have the new Twin Twister card, the Trap card with the back row. There's also support there for Trap Trixies and stuff like that. Now yes, some of the supers you can probably pick up for £1 or £2, and some of the Ultras you're probably looking at about £3 to £4 each. So if you want them in play sets, then yeah, it might be cheaper to get them. But nothing takes the fun away. You know, nothing kind of like matches up to the fun of opening up packs and being surprised of what you could get. I would say one box is probably enough, just to kind of get your fix, and then whatever you pull out of this lot, if you don't want it, you trade it off or you sell it off, and then if you get what you want, happy days. Anyway, hope this helps. Hope to give you an idea of what the secrets hold are in Code of the Duelist and kind of what they can do for you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.